Welcome to the Positive Sports Podcast. I'll be your host this evening, Ed Montana. Alongside me today, the Mr. Rogers of the Positive Sports Podcast with Sans hat. Look at you, my brother Alex. Alex, how you doing? You looking spiffy today, man. I like it.
Hi, neighbors.
You're looking good, man.
You think so?
Yeah.
You know what? I'm not looking good enough. I'm not looking good enough.
Is this good enough for our podcast? I mean,
no, absolutely not.
But it's positive.
It is.
It doesn't have any sports in it. Well, I guess that guy right there that guy.
He plays polo.
Polo.
With the little stick and...
Yeah.
You know what? Fuck that.
Hey, man, it ain't that kind of show.
Whoa. Can't show my love handles.
Hey, don't...
Let's have... You know, it's opening weekend.
I didn't even see you bring that in here.
Let's have a little fun here. And I might as well curse my team. I mean, I did it last year. Might as well curse them again.
Do it again.
That's right.
Yeah, what the hell?
I
tell you what, the people that listen to this on Podbean, Google Play, iTunes, they're missing out. You got to watch this on YouTube because now we have Positive Sports Podcast.
That was a wardrobe malfunction. That's what happens.
No. Don't say wardrobe malfunction because the people that aren't seeing
they might get scared.
They may think it's something else.
That's what happens when you come straight from work.
Now you look like you're ready. Now you look like you're ready to do a podcast. Can we get the show started now?
Hey, shout out to my nephew for letting me borrow this pretty dope hat over here.
I like that. I like the two-tone hats in general. I'm a fan.
I don't mind them so much. I like just one color.
Really?
One color.
I don't know. I like the provided they're the team colors, right? Because when you see these hats,
right.
You see a Mets hat that's green and white because it's St. Patrick's Day. I don't like that.
Yeah, that's not cool.
That's they do that with the big teams, and that's just annoying.
I agree.
Or the camo hats with San Diego. Why does San Diego get all the camo stuff?
They have like different color camos. They got like the light gray with
they got the old school yellow and brown from the old Padres uniform.
I wonder why that is. I know they have the Marine.
They've got a military base close by.
But so does North Carolina.
There's no baseball team.
Okay. Florida. There's no baseball team in Florida either.
There's two of them actually.
They both suck, so there's no baseball team.
Well, that's not entirely true, man. You got the Tampa Bay Rays. Let's get right into it. You got the Tampa Bay Rays who won 88 games last year. Did we say
something like that?
90?
No, didn't they win 90? I don't remember anymore.
Yeah, I don't. Somewhere around there. And they started off 3-1 against the Astros.
It was a 4-game set?
I think so.
Well, I think the last 2 games they won 3-1.
Yeah, so apparently the Rays are for real this year again.
Whoa, so you're over... This is overreaction Monday, isn't it?
No. Hey, look, they're 3-1, right? That's 75% winning percent. They're probably going to win like 120 games.
Wow, sounds like an overreaction.
I mean, they're on pace.
That's an overreaction.
That might be a bit of an overreaction. Hey, I told you before the season started that I thought the Rays were good. And, of course, 4 games is not enough. And we'll go into overreaction Monday because I agree with you. I love the way 4 games, 3 games for teams, 1 weekend of baseball, and people are like, whoa, look at this
Now,
team.
is there really anything to overreact to? Like in football, I think it's magnified because it's only 16 games. It's once a week. Here you have, a 6-month-long season. They play damn near every single day.
Yes, they do.
Is it a big deal if you start off 0-3, 0-4, or 5-1 like the Mariners have?
No, look, I don't think it's a big deal if you start off 5-1 or 3-1 like the Rays. I do think it could be a big deal if you start off 0-3 or 1-4 or something like that.
Think so?
Yeah, there's something to be said for the tone of the team in April. I think. Look, I think some. Having some early success is good, especially for a young team. On the flip side, some early failures, especially if they come with some injuries, it can be a cause for concern. But yeah, for the most part, I don't put a whole lot of stock in the standings on March 31st.
Speaking of injuries and concerns, Boston Red Sox, New York Yankees. Kind of off to a slow start.
Yeah.
The Red Sox had a rough time with
Seattle.
Seattle, the Yankees with the Orioles, and now the Yankees have Giancarlo Stanton and their third baseman Andujar injured.
Right.
Well, two injuries right off the bat.
The bigger concern with the Yankees is Severino, which was before the season actually started. I'm more concerned about that, and certainly when you see two injuries like that very early on, three injuries like that really early on, you start to wonder if, these guys are ready to go this year. So who knows? But again, the Yankees are so
you're
good.
not overreacting.
I'm not overreacting
to Boston's slow start.
No.
And the Yankees.
No. I'm not overreacting at all to either one of those. Because those are veteran teams that know how to win and have won. You know what I mean? It's different.
I don't know, man.
A young team starts off 1-3. I start to worry. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think with a young team, it's more imperative.
I think
a good start.
I just think it doesn't really matter. I mean, opening weekend, 5 games in, I don't think it's really a big deal. I'm not making too much of, Seattle starting off 5-1 or whoever. Someone's got to be. Is anyone winless during the Braves winless?
Right, because the Phillies are 3-0.
That's right.
Well, look, Jay thinks they're going to go 162-0.
Oh,
we need to have Jay on the show. We keep talking about Jay. People people must think we have made this character up.
At times, he's a made-up character because the shit that he talks is really
at
unbelievable.
Times you would think it. Hey, I don't know if I don't think I told you this, but I told him to do a little video bit, and I was going to put it in.
Yeah,
and
he should.
And he didn't, which is just going to make people further their point that
they're going to think we're lying.
We're lying. Made this character up. He is a character, but and he does think they're going to go 162-0, and Bryce Harper's going to win the MVP, and Nola's going to win the Cy Young, and Cap was going to win Manager of the Year.
And they're going to fix the crack in the Liberty Bell.
Do they have...
And Rocky's real.
Do they have a rookie? Because if they have a rookie, he's going to win Rookie of the Year.
Bryce Harper. It's his first year with the Phillies.
That's right. I love Jay because Jay is the eternal optimist, man. At the beginning of every season.
Of every sport.
And when I say every season, I don't mean like once a year. I mean every single sport. It doesn't matter. It could be like the Philadelphia Union in the MLS. Oh, man, the Philadelphia Union. They're going to win it all this year.
They're going to win the MLS Cup. But, to his defense, I mean, if you look at Philly sports, they really have a chance to do, like, the Eagles are making moves, and they look like they have a good hold of the NFC East. Yeah. You got the Phillies who, with that offense,
like
can compete. You have the 76ers who are currently third in the East. They look like they could be a nice little threat.
Yeah,
they can make a deep run. So the city of Philadelphia and their sports is really they're in their prime right now.
Yeah, the last decade has probably belonged to Boston, right? You look at the last 10 years, you got the Patriots, the Celtics won a championship in there, the Bruins won a championship. The Red Sox have won 3 World Series in the last 15 years or whatever that number is. The Patriots I already mentioned. Yeah. So they're probably, in the last 10, 15 years, Boston's probably the best city. But, man, Philly's looking pretty good. I mean, the Flyers suck, but...
Yeah, that's right. The Rangers took care of them yesterday.
And the Rangers suck.
That's even better.
So, that's not good.
So, yeah, the city of Philadelphia has potential to possibly be... Titletown? Oh my God! I hope not.
Yeah. So, you asked me about my overreaction. Is there anything you saw this weekend that you're like, "Yep, we're gonna see a whole lot of that this year"?
I can't think of anything. I put on a random game Thursday night, and it was the Reds and the Pirates. Please don't ask me why. I have no. Let me see. I didn't even pick neither of the teams. But the Reds have this kid in there pitching. His last name is Castillo. I can't remember his first name. But that kid, if he's not picked up in your fantasy league, pick his ass up because he looked really good. Like I'm talking like a live fastball. and he pitched opening day, which I thought Sonny Gray was going to be their opening day starter.
Yeah, apparently not. He's
not that good, but I thought he would be the starter. I mean, they traded for him, and he wasn't. And this kid all of a sudden is, You know what I don't want to see? I don't want to see Bryce Harper with Philly Fanatic cleats. And I don't want to see any other player with these loud cleats, neon yellow. I don't want to see that all season long.
Go put the Mr. Rogers sweater
It's back annoying. On. It's annoying.
Come on, look, it's all good. The NBA has gotten on the whole shoe thing. I think it's cool that baseball's doing it.
Yeah.
It's kind of neat. I'll tell you what I think I saw this weekend that I think we will see a whole lot of, and that is Philly. I think that offense is for real. I think they're going to be good, and I said as much during our preview show last week. The other thing I think that we're going to see a whole lot of is that Dodgers offense. Wow.
Think so?
Yeah.
I mean, they played the See, that's overreaction.
No, that's not an overreaction.
It's against the Diamondbacks.
No, it's not an overreaction because one of the guys that they absolutely scorched over the weekend was Greinke, and Greinke's real.
No, he's not.
Greinke's real.
No, Greinke is not good.
He is good.
You're drinking too much coffee.
You never drink too much coffee.
No, that's not right at all. He's overpaid. He's not good.
He is overpaid, but he's good.
No.
He's not like the second best pitcher in baseball pay.
They beat the Diamondbacks. I mean, if Greinke's their best player, I mean that's all they got, and they rocked him. So I mean I'm not putting too much stock into that.
It wasn't just that they won games, like 6-1. I mean they put up double-digit runs.
I think they scored like 42 runs in the first.
In the first series, they scored a ton, and I know there was some garbage innings in there where like the D-backs put a catcher in the pitch or whatever, but that offense is for real.
Until AJ Pollock, goes on the disabled list.
AJ Pollock.
Yeah.
Who's he with?
That's who he signed with. The Dodgers.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
I didn't hear that.
Yeah.
I must not have been paying.
We said it last week. Actually, I don't think we did, but he did.
Has anyone signed Keuchel and Kimbrel?
No. Apparently, they're still on the market, and the teams think that spring training's still happening. I don't know.
What the fuck?
You think they're gonna sign? At what point?
But I just don't. What do teams wait? What are these guys asking for?
Too much money. I don't think that.
Look, there's guys getting a shit ton of money that are... There are guys out there making more money, unless Keuchel's asking for $500 million, there's guys out there making more money than what Keuchel's asking for. And Keuchel's a damn good starter.
I mean...
I'm amazed that guy's still out there.
I think the fact that you've seen... That we've seen... after... Machado and Harper signed, you kind of saw players get signed real quick to extensions, and I think it's just teams not wanting to negotiate any further, right? So the teams just offer these players maybe a little more than what was expected, and Keuchel and Kimbrel are just are asking for.
I don't understand it. I mean, that's
an insane amount of money.
Crazy. I don't know what they're asking for, but that is, I mean, Kimbrel I understand because Kimbrel is not that good, and I think he really wants to go back to Boston, and Boston's playing hardball with him.
They don't want to pay him
they don't want to pay him anything. Well, I shouldn't say that, but you know what I mean. Like they know he wants to go back to Boston, and Boston, doesn't want to pay him, and so they're kind of hardballing him. So I understand the Kimbrel situation.
He got
the Keuchel situation. I don't understand.
So Kimbrel got paid $13 million last year. How much could he be asking for, and at what number? If you're the team, are you comfortable signing him?
I don't know, but
right, he's 30 years old. You would think his value. his market is more than 13. Right?
Well,
What do you think?
No, not for a closer.
No, you don't think so?
No, not at all. What did
Keuchel probably made around the same.
Yeah.
Let's see.
I would guess Keuchel did.
Let me look this up real quick.
But I just, man.
I mean, would you give? Okay, he got paid $13 million last year.
I would not give him 13 this year.
So his number has to be higher. What he's asking for has to be higher than 13. Has to be. You're not. I mean, he's not going to ask for less.
I don't know. I would.
Nah, there's no way. You don't go backwards.
Well, sometimes you do. When you're like older 30, and
right, but he's only 30. Kimbrel's only 30.
Yeah, no, but he, you know,
and he can still pitch. I mean, and the same thing for Keuchel. He made 13.2 last year. I'm sure he's asking for a little more.
He's probably asking for more.
Close to 20, 17, 18. Probably.
No, probably not there. But he's probably looking for 15, 16.
Okay, well, would you give him 15 or 16? I don't know if I would.
I might.
I mean, for how long? He's also 30 years old. That's a lot of money for.
Surely you can get him on a 2-3 year deal for 15 per.
Well, Verlander just got two for 66.
Yeah,
DeGrom got 5 for 137.
Yeah, but Verlander's also 55 years old.
Right.
I mean, Verlander's on the tail end of his career.
Okay. DeGrom just got 5 for 137 at 31.
Right, but that's $27 million a year. That's a lot. That's a lot of coin.
I don't know. I don't.
15 for Keuchel is not crazy. Man, and this is baseball. There's always some idiot owner that will throw that money at him.
Well, I think it feels like at this point it's going to take for a team to, DeGrom to go down, or Nola, or someone like that, Chris Sale to go down. Seriously,
Chris Sale looked terrible against.
Yeah, he did. Well, the Red Sox altogether looked terrible.
Yeah, so be it.
Yelich, 6 for 12, 4 home runs, 8 RBIs, a cajillion doubles.
That's another thing that I saw this weekend that I thought, yeah, we're going to see that all year. That guy's good. That guy is flat out good.
I didn't pick him as one of the award winners from last season to repeat. I think I might have picked Betts. I think we both picked Betts, but
the most likely to repeat.
Yeah. But shit.
Looks like Yelich.
Oh wait! One of us did pick Yelich. Who? I have no idea.
Oh,
me. Did you?
Yeah, me.
I have check marks on the Betts. And
you
Yelich.
didn't put initials by it?
No. I'm actually gonna leave it like that.
Right, so that when we get to October, November, you can say,
"That's right."
Told you guys.
When you're talking, I'm gonna put my initial on there when you're not looking.
What a pinhead!
That's right. So we're leaving it like that. All right.
You're such a blonde sometimes.
Speaking of blondes, please don't laugh.
Oh.
Positive Sports viewers, please don't laugh. I know my brother will. I went to a freaking baby shower this past weekend. I went to a baby shower.
Did you have fun?
I did. The best part of this baby shower.
Please don't tell me it was the games.
It was not my baby. I am not the father. Maury was there. He said it. I'm not the father.
How's that? That would be. Can you imagine that? Right? Like they do a baby shower and they have Maury show up with DNA test for a bunch of guys.
And it was a great baby shower.
Here's my question.
Oh God, I'm ready. What you got?
Did they have alcohol?
Oh yeah. Plenty of alcohol.
Because it can't possibly be a good baby shower.
No. I mean, the mothers were getting drunk. It was great. Yes, there was alcohol, plenty of food. A few takeaways here. Number one, this is my dream baby shower.
Oh my God, this is
my dream baby shower. Listen, listen how this starts off. We got an invitation. It starts at 4:00. I tell my wife, this is perfect. We'll leave at 3:59 and we won't even be late. The baby shower across the street. Okay, that's the best part. Number one. One of the best parts. The second best part is all the women stayed inside. All the guys stayed in the garage. I stood up the whole time. None of us went inside. None of them came inside. We took like 2 trays of food inside, and that was it. So
they have a TV in this garage.
Yes, a TV. I watched UFC Fight Night in Philly. Those knockouts were freaking incredible. I'm not a big UFC guy, but those knockouts, I mean, the way they fell.
Those were amazing.
I don't know their names, awesome. But that was pretty good. We watched some basketball. Like I said, it was a guy's baby shower.
Okay, well, so, you're kind of off the hook there. You were starting to worry me.
No.
And of course, we probably lost all of the listeners on that.
On the contrary, we gained. Yeah. I bet you they're female listeners.
They're dudes going, hey babe, come here, listen to this. I told you it's not just 2 guys talking sports. Look, they're talking about baby showers.
That's right. Ed will talk a little bit sewing later on if you want. For all the, grandmothers out there.
Crochet. I like the crochet. All right, needlepoint. All right, oh my God, this has gone off the rails. All right, what are we talking about next?
Are we done with baseball? Anything else from baseball?
We're 4 games in.
We're 4 games
in. And I think we got like a ways to go. We can probably move on.
All right, we won't touch baseball in September when things get hot and spicy.
Hot and spicy.
A little basketball. Which way you want to go? You want to go with the youngins, or you want to go with the NBA?
Let's go with the young ones. So,
Final Four.
Yeah, let's talk about the weekend because the Thursday, Friday games were completely shot for me as a Michigan man watching my team lay up one brick after another against Texas Tech. There's nothing to talk about in those Sweet 16 games.
I would have watched for the rest of the tournament.
However, the Elite 8 games to determine who goes to the Final Four, those were the 4 best games of the tournament. Those were probably the best 4 games at that stage of the tournament in a long time. 2 of them went into overtime. The other ones were decided by 1 and 4 points, I think, or 1 and 5 points, something like that. It was amazing. It was great basketball, great theater, so to speak. Just so much fun to watch. I don't even know where to begin. Which one you want to start with?
I mean, for me, this is a failure of a tournament. I mean, I don't have North Carolina. I don't have Duke. I'm stuck with Auburn and Virginia and Texas Tech and Michigan State.
Who did you pick to go to the Final Four?
I had Nevada. I had Duke, North Carolina, and I can't remember the other. One.
I had Tennessee, Michigan State, Michigan, and North Carolina.
Tennessee wasn't in the same
no
bracket
they were in the same bracket with Virginia.
Okay, so I had Tennessee. Tennessee's what I had.
Man, so. Virginia lost to a 16 seed last year. This year, all the way back to the Final Four. That's hats off to them because the pressure had to be real coming into the tournament. And it's probably still there because
and I believe
people keep talking about the fact that they lost last year in the first round to a 16 seed for the first time ever. It's got to get annoying, and they've got to be feeling some of that pressure.
I believe. I don't think so much now, but definitely the first 2 rounds, right? Because after the first round, you're like, okay, they beat them. They beat a number 16 seed, but then you're kind of like, well, are they for real? Because they lost last year to a number 16. Now they only beat a number 16, right? So the games are only going to get a little harder.
Right.
And now they've made it to the Final Four. So I believe the pressure was real the first 2 rounds. I think now they can really concentrate on just playing fundamental basketball and, doing what they're doing. They got a pretty veteran. Isn't Bruce Pearl there?
No, Bruce Pearl's the Auburn coach.
Oh, the Auburn coach. Okay, well, there goes that.
There goes that idea.
I watch a lot of college basketball.
That Virginia Purdue game was awesome. And that was great stuff. The tip and then the pass and the floater to tie it up in regulation, and then overtime. It was great theatrics. Virginia looked really good. They play against Auburn, and Auburn is a bit of a surprise to me And they've had some injuries. They had the one kid that they lost with a knee problem.
Yeah.
But Bruce Pearl's got them playing good basketball.
They kind of remind me of that Louisville team when what is it? Russ Smith got hurt. That his bone came out of
when he
shin.
broke his leg.
I mean that injury came at a really crucial time, right? That came in the Final Four, I think. Or before, and kind of Auburn is kind of playing that.
And they beat a good Kentucky team. They've played well throughout the tournament, which I guess you can say that about everybody coming into the Final Four.
Yeah.
I think the surprise of the group is really, though, Texas Tech. No one really had them penciled going this far. And part of the reason is they don't play an exciting brand of basketball. They grind every single possession. But, look, Michigan made it to the Final Four last year playing that way. Made it to the final game. And Texas Tech is doing it to everybody this year. But every possession is a battle. Every possession feels like we got to score here. We can't let this lead get up to 8, or it's too much.
Yeah.
They're a grinding basketball team. They're going to face another team that's a bit of a grinder in Michigan State. That's going to be, I think, a really fun matchup to watch. And we'll see how it shakes out. Michigan State knocked off Duke, which
surprised.
No,
you're not.
I'm not. No, I'm not surprised. I think look, Michigan State's a good basketball team, and if those two teams play 10 times, do I think Duke's going to win more? Yeah, but I don't think they're going to go 10-0. Right? They're going to win 6 out of 10, maybe 7 out of 10. But Michigan State's a good basketball team, very well coached team. And they were a 2 seed. It's not like they were a 10 seed, right?
Yeah, I think just the hype that went into Duke, they were expected to win. I expected them to win. I think the majority expected them to win. Oh,
absolutely.
But, yeah, Tom Izzo is... and that matchup always... They always play close games against each other. It feels like Tom Izzo really gets the best out of his players, even though he screams at them. It's amazing.
Yeah, go figure.
Wow, he screams at his players. What a bad coach.
Terrible.
What a bad coach, and he got his team to the Final Four.
Yep. Should be good on Saturday, so give me your prediction for the semifinals.
I'm still sticking with Duke and North Carolina. They're going to win it all, baby.
You sound like... You know what you sound like? You sound like those BCS voters that... Alabama could lose 3 games and I think Alabama's one of the best teams in the country. Right. I think Alabama's one of the best 4 teams in the country. They should be in the national semifinal. It's just that simple. And you know what? Not for nothing, but Duke had some of that early in the season where Gonzaga beat them. Yeah, but we think Duke is better, so we're going to put Duke at number 1. It's like, well, wait a minute. Gonzaga's undefeated.
Yeah.
And they beat Duke head-to-head on a neutral court. Why do you think Duke is better? Well, because, we just think Duke is better.
Well, it's the same
and apparently thing. that's the route you're going.
It's the same, I think they just get the same treatment that, like the example you gave that Alabama gave.
Yeah, it's less
which really sucks.
It's less of a problem in basketball because you got to play a lot of games to get to the championship. But in college football, and this is one of the things I really don't like about college football is, look, Alabama gets in no matter what. Alabama starts the season in the top 4 regardless of what's going on, and they belong in the top 4. I want to see Alabama lose the first week of the season to Our Lady of Guadalupe or whatever, and I bet you they'll still put them in the top 4.
Probably, I'm sure they will.
And that's not fair when you have such limited spots.
Or they'll get lucky and the team or the power teams will lose too.
That same weekend?
Yeah.
Well, no, likely not. But seriously, who are you picking?
I'm gonna. I don't know. This is tough because I know nothing about all 4 teams. I like Auburn. I feel like they're playing for something, but it feels like Virginia might be coming around to really being themselves and showing us, the team that they were during the regular season last year and this year. So I'm gonna go with Virginia, and I'm gonna go with Michigan State. Tom Izzo in the Hizzo in Minneapolis.
I am going to go with Texas Tech. I think Texas Tech is going to grind out one more win, and they're going to do it over Michigan State. I think Auburn will beat Virginia. There's something about that Auburn team that's just going right, and it may be luck, it may be karma, I don't know, but they're doing something right. And then, much like last year, Cinderella will lose its slipper, and Auburn will beat Texas Tech in the championship game.
So can we be done with the one and done? I mean, let's just get rid of it because obviously, when you have a class like Duke, like Kentucky, you're not guaranteed to win. Let these players just go to the NBA. I don't see what...
I understand why they want to do the have them play 1 year. My problem with it is just so if I have a kid who's a genius, right? And a musical genius, right? And he goes through high school and Sony wants to sign him to a $10 million contract to do music. He can go, right? He doesn't have to do 1 year at, whatever school of music. He can just go and start his career. Why is it that in basketball, these guys can't just go out and start their careers? If that's what they choose to do, that's what they choose to do. But we don't. Why do we have to make them go to college? That's the part I've never understood about this. In any other walk of life, we would let them go on and start their career. If they're good enough to make music and get paid, and make top 40 music, then let them go. But here we don't.
Now this is an NBA rule, right?
I don't even know whose rule it is.
I mean, I guess
think it's the NBA.
I guess college basketball has some kind of pull, right? I mean, because they benefit from this,
right?
Obviously, right?
And that's part of. I think that's part of the reason they're doing it, right? Is they don't want to damage the college product, but who cares? We're gonna watch the tournament next year. Duke is gonna have a whole new crop of freshmen, and guess what's gonna happen when they go to the tournament?
They're gonna lose again.
We're gonna watch it. No,
Yeah.
we're gonna watch it.
Yeah.
Right? And the contract with CBS is gonna be humongous, and someone's gonna pay a bajillion dollars to be the title sponsor of one shining moment. Everything's gonna go on. So the machine keeps going. The product speaks for itself. It doesn't matter. The execution and talent in college basketball has been deteriorating for years. A lot of these kids can't shoot, but yet we keep watching it. Why? Because it's the NCAA tournament. We watch the event. We don't watch the actual product or the actual kids anymore. We're involved in the event. And when you've got the pull of whatever it is, $2 billion worth of gambling that goes on, who cares if they're freshmen or sophomores or juniors, or if they went to college 1 year or 10 years?
I don't know. For me, this tournament really hasn't, and not because my bracket's been busted since before the tournament started, but this tournament just really hasn't been. I can count on one hand how many. I haven't even watched the full game. It just. I feel like there hasn't been enough juice in this. In this tournament.
When we started this podcast, it was light out, and now it's dark, and we're sitting in a dark room. Go flip the light on.
Are you serious?
Yeah, don't you think? It feels dark.
It looks good.
No,
it's the shade. Dark. You want me to open up the shades?
No, don't open up the shades. I think I've got too much of a tan. It's dark in here.
Because you're a Guido.
Go flip.
Fist pump!
No, we don't need any more tan over here. I am tan enough. Ah, look at that. There we are.
There you go. Now you look a little cleaner. Wow. This looks amazing, actually. I need sunglasses now.
Amazing looking people.
All right, let's move on to the pros because college is, college, whatever. I mean, think about this. There are 64 teams in the college tournament, and it takes 2 weeks to complete.
3 weeks.
3 weeks. There are 32 teams in the World Cup, right? In the World Cup tournament.
Yes.
It takes a month.
We
move to the NBA. There are 16 teams
that make the playoffs.
Yes. And it takes 2 months. We looked at it earlier. It takes 2 months.
A full 2 months.
I mean, geez.
2 months and a couple days.
It's really ridiculous how long.
I don't understand why it takes so long, but
I don't know.
Anyway, look, what they really need to do is they need to cut it down to 8 teams.
But I don't know about 18, maybe 12. But
how would you do 12?
Well, one gets a bye. So
the top 4 get a bye.
Yeah,
and you make and you make the first round best of 3.
I don't like the best of 3 for the first. I like the best of 5. I like the best of 5 because that's how it was in the 90s. It was best of 5. I like that format. 5, 7, 7, 7. I really like that.
That would help with the 2-month problem.
Yeah.
But what would help even more is just having 3 series of 7 and getting rid of that first round.
But I think most will agree, but we kind of go back to what we were talking about in college. The gambling, the money, the revenue, all that stuff just comes into play.
The ratings can't be that good for that first round of the NBA playoffs. It seems
I would guess it's not. No, I would guess not. Unless, you got a team like Orlando that is fighting for a playoff spot and they make it. Heck, they're not.
My guess is the bump in ratings from the regular season to the first round is this much.
Well,
it's tiny.
It's probably not even that because a team like Orlando, I can't imagine them being sold out for the playoffs for a home game.
Well, they're not in.
Well, I mean, if they're fighting for a spot,
right.
I mean, they could get in. So, I mean, I don't think they've sold out since even when Shaq was there, probably. So we got Detroit, Brooklyn, the Brooklyn Nets, Miami Heat, Orlando Magic, and the Charlotte Hornets fighting for the last 3 spots.
Detroit
in the East.
So if you assume Detroit's in the lead, or Detroit's in the lead, Brooklyn is a half game behind them. Miami is a game behind Detroit, and then the 2 that are out of the playoffs, Miami has a half game lead on Orlando, the Battle of Florida, and then Charlotte is 2.5 behind Orlando. So Charlotte's pretty much done. They've got 6 games left, and they got to make up 3 games to get to Miami.
Well, it's possible because you have to jump Orlando, who's not a threat. You can jump Miami, who I think they really they played well this season, but I just don't think they have enough. So they could really sneak in there. Anybody can sneak in there, right?
But it's a long way away. To make up 3 games with 6 to play, I mean, I'm no math major, but if the Heat go 3-3, then Charlotte's done. If the Heat go 2-4, Charlotte's got to go 5-1.
Yeah, I mean
it's tough. 3 games out with 6 to play is tough.
Yeah, but I don't think. I mean, look, these are teams fighting for the last 3 spots. We're not talking about teams that are overpowered. The best team out of these 5 is probably Brooklyn, and even then, I would be hesitant to say. So. I wouldn't count out Charlotte at all. I don't think it's far fetched to say that they can leapfrog 2 teams to steal that 8th spot.
You want to put a little friendly wager on it?
Sure.
Okay.
I mean, yeah.
$5 if they don't make the 8th spot.
Oh, I'll take that bet all day.
Jeez.
I'll take that bet all day.
It's simple math, my brother. It's simple math.
Yeah, but the simple math tells me that they're not eliminated. So, I mean...
No, I understand they're not eliminated, but I also understand that making up 3 games with 6 to play is a gargantuan order.
Is that harder, or is to make up 7 games in 17 baseball harder?
It is harder to make up 3 and 6.
Hell, in basketball?
Yes.
No way. Dude, in baseball, it's harder.
I'm going to completely ruin this for you by looking at Miami's schedule. And I'll tell you right now, if the Knicks are on there...
I bet you it's weak because, you know why? Because Brooklyn has all the freaking hard teams left. The Nets have the hardest teams left. Read them off to me.
They've got Boston, Minnesota, Toronto, Philadelphia, and Brooklyn.
Preston. I mean, they could...
Miami's got it easy.
Okay, no. What do you mean? They can go 3-3.
Yeah,
or
they could.
Or 2-4.
Yeah, okay. But then Charlotte is gonna have to go 5-1.
Let's look at Charlotte's thingamajiggy real quick.
Thingamajiggy? Is that a technical term?
It sounded cool.
That's very serious. Charlotte has no chance. I just made $5. I love it.
You don't have any faith in.
No, I don't.
But what makes you have faith in the Heat?
The fact that they're 3 games ahead with 6 to play.
Yeah, I don't. I mean, what? Yeah, but I mean,
a 3-game advantage with 6 to play is a lot.
No, yeah,
it doesn't
that's a lot.
It may not sound like a lot, but when you break it down, if they go 1-4, Charlotte's got to go 4-2.
That's
Charlotte is below 500 for a reason.
Miami's over 500 by what, 1 game?
No, they're right at 500.
Okay, that's what I'm saying.
They have Utah. There's no way. Listen to this.
Go.
Utah, New Orleans, Toronto, Detroit, Cleveland, and Orlando.
Why not?
Hold on. Charlotte's going to lose to Utah. They'll lose to Toronto. They'll lose to Detroit. They may lose to Orlando.
Utah's not very good. Number one,
better than Charlotte.
Pelicans are lost. Toronto is fighting for a 1 seed, but they may be Kawhi might need some load management. Detroit, who knows? Cleveland, and Orlando. Come on, that smells 4-2 to me. I'm writing this shit down. Charlotte's going 4-2.
I don't understand how you think sometimes.
Hornets going 4-2.
Okay.
Last 6
That's
games.
the easiest $5 I've ever made in my entire life. I should have bet 10.
You calling me easy?
Yeah. And sleazy. I should have bet 10. Damn it.
So who's your last 3 teams then? Detroit, Brooklyn, Miami? Exactly how it is now?
No, I think Detroit gets in. I'm really worried about Brooklyn. They just got through that long West Coast trip, and I think they're starting. You said this. You actually called this I want to say 3 weeks ago. You called it that they were starting to wear down, and now it's really becoming obvious that they're starting to wear down. So I think Brooklyn may drop out, and Orlando may jump in.
Whoa!
Miami, Brooklyn,
technical
Miami,
foul here.
Brooklyn, Miami, and Orlando, I think, are fighting for 2 spots.
Name me a team. Name me a player on Orlando.
I can name.
No,
the fact
you
that they're
can't.
1 game under 500 as opposed to 6 games under 500 like Charlotte.
So you think Orlando's gonna skip over Miami, but Charlotte can't skip over Orlando and Miami?
Orlando's a half game behind Miami. Anything can happen at that.
You're
point.
fucking insane. I mean, you're insane. There's no way.
Listen,
think you're wrong.
if Charlotte was so good, why are they 6 games below 500?
Well, if Miami was so good, they would be high, fighting for.
No. I'm not saying Miami's so good. I'm saying they're 500. They're better than Charlotte.
Okay. Yeah, record says they're better now, but that doesn't mean that they're. I mean,
Orlando has Toronto, the Knicks. That's a win. Atlanta. That's a win. Boston and Charlotte.
No, Atlanta's playing good basketball. I don't know if that's a win.
Yeah, okay. But they
the
still
Hawks
suck.
are playing good. What are you?
But they suck.
But they're winning games. Have you not seen Trae Young?
Yeah, they suck.
Well, yeah, all these teams suck, but they're winning games. So.
See, and this is my argument for having only 8 teams make the playoffs. None of these teams are worth a damn. Milwaukee's gonna sweep through. Toronto's gonna sweep through. Who's 3? Philadelphia's gonna sweep through.
Probably.
Boston and Indiana is the only series worth watching, and even that's a stretch. I don't know that that's really worth watching.
All right, let's stop talking about the NBA then, since all the teams suck.
No, just the bottom 4 that make the playoffs, for crying out loud. It's just seriously.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's really a waste.
Are any of those first round series going to be competitive? Milwaukee, Toronto, and Philly against any of those 5 teams fighting for those last 3 spots. Are any of those 3 series going to be competitive? And when I say competitive, I mean 6-7 games.
Yeah, I mean, no, probably not.
It's just a waste of time.
Yeah.
And then in the West, you've got. In the West, it's a little bit different for some reason. You got Golden State, Denver a game back, Houston 3.5 back, Portland, Utah, Clippers, San Antonio, and OKC. The only reason those series will be interesting is because of the characters involved. You're going to watch Golden State OKC because Russell Westbrook and Paul George are 2 superstars, and they could win 2 games in a series against the Warriors. right? So that series might be worth watching. Denver and San Antonio. Again, Popovich might be able to coach his team to 2 wins. That one might work. Houston and the Clippers, only because the Clippers give the Rockets fits in the playoffs all the time. Portland, Utah will be fun to watch. But in the East...
Man, the East is competitive.
The East makes a perfect argument for only having the top 4 teams in each conference.
I mean, it's obvious the East is the most competitive. This is going to come down to the wire. This is all 82 games count. In the West, all 82 games don't count. For the Lakers, I mean, you know, they don't even need to show up.
Some of them aren't.
Some of them aren't. So,
man, we talked about, when we did the NBA preview, we talked a lot about the Lakers, right? They were obviously the big story because of adding LeBron James. Could this season have gone any worse? What a complete catastrophe. I don't think anyone thought, even the LeBron haters out there, no one thought it was going to be this bad. But this has been embarrassingly bad.
I feel like this was a trial run. This was a trial run. I think, you know, next season they should make the playoffs. And I'm not saying they're going to be a 1, 2, 3, 4 seed, but I think they'll, you know, they should have a better shot at making the playoffs. But yeah, this was a complete. But to defend them, they did have a lot of injuries. I mean, they had a lot of injuries to that starting lineup, some to the bench.
Yeah, no, I agree with all that.
You know, and it's just tough, even for LeBron to, you know, the first year to get the most out of these players. This is still a young team for the most part.
Yeah.
So
I think
it's hard.
Yeah, it is. I agree with you.
And I feel bad for Luke Walton because he's been thrown under the bus. He's been, you know, rumored to be fired, and he's still sticking up for his players and, you know, giving his, you know, interviews and all that shit.
I just, the part I don't understand is, look, LeBron, someone read something wrong here. Either LeBron thought he could go in there and you know, do something, you know, help build this team with a bunch of young guys. And the Lakers obviously thought that someone miscommunicated because LeBron's not a builder of young talent.
No.
Unless it's like elite talent, like Kyrie Irving. And even then, he didn't build that. That guy's built himself, right? And the Lakers, I mean, I don't know what they were thinking. And quite frankly, I disagree with you. I don't think they're going to make the playoffs next year either because no one's going to want to go play in LA with LeBron.
Huh?
Right? I don't see anybody who's going to want to go.
Well, I mean, you know, you have to take into account, you know, money talk. So if the Lakers are able to, you know, pony up some money, that will draw some players.
Remember, Alex, in the NBA, you make the most money by staying. The cap is structured in such a way that if you're interested in dollars, the team you are on can offer you a considerably bigger deal than someone else.
Right, but a player like Anthony Davis is not going to. Well, but even if he didn't, even if you know we didn't have that soap opera this year, why the hell would he stay in New Orleans? There's nothing there. Might as well go to Los Angeles where you have a bigger market. You can market those eyebrows and.
Well, Alex, you're arguing two different things, right?
No.
You said a minute ago. You said money. If money is his motivation, then New Orleans is the place to stay.
No, he would make more money in L.A.
No, he won't.
Yeah, he will. Absolutely.
You don't understand how the cap works. The max contract that the Pelicans can offer is considerably bigger than the one the Lakers can.
Right.
There's no state tax in Louisiana. There's state tax in California. It is a considerable difference. And I understand what you're saying. There's a marketing opportunity in Los Angeles that doesn't exist in New Orleans. But a guy of his stature and his marketability, he's going to make plenty of marketing dollars in New Orleans, by the way, you know, without state income tax. And it's so if it's a money thing, he's going to stay in New Orleans. Now, he doesn't want to stay in New Orleans because he doesn't like Cajun food or whatever his reason is, right? Or because it's a crappy franchise, whatever. But even then, I don't think he's going to want to go to L.A. and deal with the soap opera that is LeBron. I just don't. I don't see it. I don't see it at this point. I think they're going to have a very hard time attracting another free agent. That's just my thought. And obviously, there's a long way to go before we get to next year's playoffs. But if I was a betting man and I had to bet an amount of money significant to me, like say another $5, I would bet the Lakers do not make the playoffs in 2020. LeBron's getting older. He broke down a little bit this year.
Right, that's why he's going to need all the help, and he's going to get it.
Maybe.
Magic is going to throw it around like he was throwing that thing around back in his playing days.
If I knew what the odds were, I would love to see what the odds are of the Lakers making the playoffs in 2020, because I think I would throw down big money. I mean, like $2, maybe $3.
That's the nice thing about basketball compared to baseball. Once free agency hits on July 1st, you know where all the big-time players are going. It doesn't get dragged out, right? Midnight, they're signing.
It's pretty quick.
There's no 3-month wait.
Some guys may take a couple days, but it doesn't seem to go much more than that.
No.
But but to be fair, the baseball one this year was, I think, the anomaly. Now, it may be the new way. I don't know, but I can't imagine it's going to be like this every year. I mean, this year was just nuts.
I don't know, man. If the owners are gonna are gonna be playing tough ball like this, I don't know. Who knows?
All right, man. You ready to wrap this bad boy up?
Wrap it up,
folks. If you want to share your thoughts on the Final Four, if you want to overreact to the first weekend of the MLB season, or you want to talk NBA basketball, you want to do what you just want to reach out to us and say Alex looks silly in a polo sweater. You can reach the show via email at positivesports10@gmail.com. Positivesports10@gmail.com. If you want to get a hold of this guy directly, how do they do that?
You don't. You email the show, positivesports10@gmail.com.
Every time you say that, I think you're in Twitter jail again.
I'm not in Twitter jail.
I know. I'm surprised.
I just want somebody to email us. We don't get any freaking emails. It's all spam.
You get a lot of spam. I guess that's the way of the world.
Yeah.
Right? If you want to get a hold of me, you can reach me on Twitter at eMontana21. You have a shout out?
I mean, it's podcast 69. The guy just retired. Rob Gronkowski. He would be so proud of me to give him a shout out on podcast number 69. Shout out to Rob Gronkowski, man. I think he's hanging it up at the right time, although I don't think he's completely done. But as of now, he's retired. Great career. 2 Super Bowl rings. It's amazing what the guy has done on the field, what he's done for Tom Brady and the Patriots. The guy's a freaking robot out there, and I think he's making the right decision. He's taken plenty of hits in his career, and I think that this is just the smartest move that he could possibly make. Go enjoy life. Go enjoy some of that money, and 69 on, bro.
Hall of Famer?
Yes.
Yeah, I think it's a no-brainer.
I wouldn't say no-brainer, but yes, in the Hall of Fame.
He's a Hall of Famer. My shout-out is going to be a little bit different today. My shout-out goes to the fine doctors at the Man Eye Institute here in Houston, one of the finest eye care facilities in the country. My mother has had vision problems since she was a teenager. And when I say vision problems, I mean vision problems. My mom was like, I swear Mom was legally blind when we were kids.
She thought you were handsome.
She was legally blind when we were kids. My mom has struggled with her eyesight since she was a teenage girl back in Argentina. She wore hard contact lenses for very many years. She wore soft contact lenses started wearing them about 20 years ago. That was the advancement in her eye care. And recently was found to have cataracts. So she had to have cataract surgery. And one of the most emotional conversations I've had with my mother was after the second cataract surgery when she explained to me how happy she was to be able to distinguish colors and how happy she was to be able to read the ticker on the bottom of the soccer game that my dad was watching, because my dad watches soccer all the time. To hear the joy in someone's voice when they can see better than they've seen in the last 50 years, longer than I've been alive, was absolutely heartwarming. And so I decided I would go to the Man Eye Institute and check out the website and see what they do. And you see all these testimonials, and a lot of times you think, oh, they're testimonials. There were people that were paid to say this. But a lot of the stories were resounding in that they sounded a lot like my mother's story. And it was absolutely amazing to hear the wonderful things that these people do with eye surgery and to give people back the gift of sight. We take it for granted every day. I know I do. I've been very blessed to have very good vision, and I've never needed glasses and or contacts. And so I do take it for granted. No longer. Because listening to my mom this past week after her cataract surgery and how happy she was to be able to see, to be able to distinguish things, to be able to notice the fine details on a picture I sent her of one of the kids, it was truly, truly, truly heartwarming. My hat's off to the Man Eye Institute and what you do. It is absolutely one of the best facilities in the country, and they do amazing work for people. Keep on keeping on. Keep shining the light of sight for everyone.
Sweet.
With that, folks, we've come to the end of another wonderful episode of the Positive Sports Podcast. As always, thank you very much for your listenership, your viewership. Hope you've enjoyed our afternoon together. And as always, folks, ignore the negativity. Be the positivity.
Peace.